yeah, if you think you're going to do it in your own strength, then you know what? Yeah, you can do it.
COVID, it's been helping people move their businesses from offline or brick and mortar to online.
Systems are more important than skills as an entrepreneur today.
It's totally okay to reinvent yourself.
Yes.
Multiple times, especially when you're an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Profitable Coaching Conversations with WendyY Bailey. If you're a coach, speaker, or industry expert, you're in the right place for sales and marketing wisdom and insight to grow your coaching business. Now, here's your host, Income Acceleration Mentor, WendyY Bailey.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show. I'm excited, as always, to bring you another amazing guest. And today's guest is no exception. Tabitha Liburd is a consultant. She's the founder of Marshall Duke Consulting. Did I get that right, Tabitha?
Yes,
Okay.
You did.
And I'm excited to talk to her because we've been connected as social media friends for a while, and I'm in one of her Facebook groups. Her focus is all about helping organizations with conflict resolution. So welcome to the show, Tabitha.
Thanks for having me, WendyY.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about what you do at Marshall Duke Consulting and who do you serve?
Thank you. Well, I am an attorney, an HR manager, and a conflict management strategist.
Nice.
And yes. And I help professionals to manage conflict in their relationships, in their systems, and their workflows with ease so they can close the gap between issues and outcomes and create peaceful and profitable workplaces.
Wow, so much needed these days. We live in times that are highly stressful, and I know people are more anxious than they used to be, suffering with depression more. There's more conflict that arises. So what made you decide that was an area that you wanted to carve out for yourself and your business?
It chose me. I worked as an attorney, and one of my roles was to hear pretrial civil applications. And that was in the Bahamas. So I was at the court in the Bahamas for about 10 years. And at a certain point in time, a decision was made to include conflict resolution as a part of the process. And so just bringing people together to have them talk about the issue in a way that wasn't litigious to see if there was a possibility that there could be a settlement. And so we were trained for that reason. And with those processes, we were trained in the mediation process. And I loved it.
Okay.
I saw how it could partner with law, and I saw how it could reach outside of law and just help people live lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so I continued to do mediation training while working as an attorney and managing processes in the court until the time came when I transitioned from my legal role into the US. And in that pivotal moment, I needed to decide, was I going to pursue law or was I going to do the thing that had been calling me for over 10 years?
Yeah.
And it was an easy choice.
Yeah. Do you ever miss law?
I miss sometimes appearing in court. I miss the practice of law. I still miss a lot of, writing decisions, writing judgments, but I love what I do so much. And I am still able to transition so much of what I know into what I do, because many of my clients have issues that may have some sort of legal connotation.
Yeah.
There may be something legal attached to it. And while I am not an attorney in the US, and I don't give any legal advice in the US, because I know how courts work, because I know how attorneys think, because I know what the priorities are in court, I'm able to help them to position themselves for success, to know what questions they should ask their attorneys, and to help them through whatever negotiation is in front of them, or to see the possibilities that there may be something that can be negotiated in front of them.
So let me ask this question. I actually have like 2 or 3 questions, but let me just start with this one. So when you came to the US and decided you were no longer going to practice law and decided to focus on conflict resolution, it sounds like it was something you became passionate about. Did you know right off the bat who you were going to serve?
I did. I knew it was going to be professionals. I knew that my demographic would be mostly women because I had seen how women have been moving through life, wearing so many hats, carrying so many different pieces of baggage, having to do so much. And I know what I could have achieved had I known these secrets that I now know. If I had the awareness and I was able to tailor my attitude and I was able to take action, I knew exactly how much more I could have achieved. And so I knew that I was going to help people just like myself.
Yeah. So when you say professionals, you're talking other attorneys, people in corporate organizations. Who else would you include as professionals?
Anyone in a profession who is serving people, anyone in a profession who wants to move up in the chain of command, anyone in a profession who wants to make a lateral move into doing something that's been calling them all of the time, anyone who is an entrepreneur, someone who is a supervisor or manager. Right? I have clients who are entrepreneurs who own their own business. I have clients who run nonprofit agencies. I have clients who are in companies working in senior roles. So anyone, regardless of which profession you work in.
I'm going to take you to task on that because I don't believe that your ideal clients are anyone. Like you have a great clarity about the areas in which they work. I'm going to challenge you to stop using the word anyone. You know,
well, I say any one of these.
I got you, and I want you to take anyone out of your description going forward. And the reason I say it, this is just me, but the reason I say it is because you can't tell what an anyone looks like, even if it's an anyone in this profession. Anyone is just too vague. That's just me.
Well, I understand, and I certainly agree, and I do know my people. I know who they are, and I know who I am called to serve. So yes, I do gravitate to women of faith.
Nice.
And serve women of faith. I do serve women who are from the diaspora, who have made the United States their adoptive home, and who have transitioned to life in the US and are bridging cultures. And need support to do that. So those are my anyone. Those are my people.
Yeah.
And also successful and driven entrepreneurs who want to make a difference and who have a timeline to do so and have a sense of urgency.
Yeah, nice. You know, the thing I love about how you describe what you do, I can hear your passion, and I can hear that you said it shows you. I can hear that in how you describe your clients and the work that you do for your clients. I think that's very, very cool. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll go through our signature segment. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jody Krankel, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversations Show with WendyY Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hi, I'm Charvette Mitchell, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversations Show with WendyY Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episodes go live.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Victor, and you're tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Okay, so welcome back, everyone. I've been having a great conversation with Tabitha Liburd, who is a consultant focused on conflict resolution. And one of the things she talked about when we went on break just a second ago was she has a coaching program all around conflict resolution. So I'm delighted to hear about that. And toward the end, let's definitely talk more about that, Tabitha.
Definitely. Sure.
Awesome. So let's jump into our first question. Who's had the greatest influence on you in your life?
The three people who come to mind would be God, my mother, and my grandmother.
Okay.
And that's why my company is Marshall Duke Consulting. My grandmother's maiden name was Duke, and my mother's maiden name was Marshall. And I have had a front seat in the lives of these beautiful women, my mother and my grandmother. And I was able to see how they moved through life. Both were, for some periods of their life, single mothers, having separated from husbands. And I heard from my mother the things that my grandmother struggled with in her separation journey and in her life as a single mother. And I've witnessed the things that my mother struggled with in her separation journey and in her life as a single mother. And as I transitioned into conflict resolution, certainly as an attorney, I knew exactly how to position my mother and help her position herself. And I did that. However, when I was doing the master's in conflict management, and I started getting little light bulbs popping off all over, thinking, wow, if they knew this and they had this strategy. And so all I saw in retrospect was how this could benefit these beautiful women. And by extension, women who are just living lives, trying to do the best we can and having conflict because it's everywhere in life. As long as we're alive, it will come.
So they instill some values in you that you might not have gotten elsewhere. Because of their own experiences.
Definitely. A lot of my values, a lot of the things I do and I say are because of them. And sometimes I say, ooh, I say something and then I say, ooh, I just heard my grandmother. Because I started saying the things that they said. So they're always present and they are involved in what I do. And a lot of what I do is in honor of them, helping women just like them with the things that would have helped them had they had this opportunity.
I hear you. I hear you. So how long have you been in your business as an entrepreneur full-time on the stateside?
I moved to the United States in 2017 and finished my master's in 2019. This business was 10 years in the making. This business was in here and in here in my head and in my heart for 10 years before I started. I came here and did my master's at the university I was in contact with for 10 years. And so when it came to the time to do my capstone, this was the business that was birthed. This business was my capstone paper. And then once I graduated,
way to tie it together.
And once I graduated, then I started the business. So I graduated in December 2018, and then transitioned from Tennessee to Michigan, setting the business up along the way, and then launching it in the middle of a pandemic.
Well, sometimes that's the best way. I interviewed someone else on a different episode, and she literally walked away from a $14 an hour job to launch a six-figure business. Because of COVID. Like when COVID happened, she just walked away. She had a great support system. And, people who say you can't do well because of COVID, I'm like, you need some mindset shifts there, because it can be done. It totally can be done, So what's the best business advice you've ever received?
That relationships matter because they do.
That's a good one.
Relationships matter because that is also a part of my ethos as a conflict management and change management strategist, because if you can manage conflict, you can manage change. And so when people are running away from the term conflict management, I invite them to think about managing change and really what's needed at the root of that. And so relationships matter, and a lot of my program helps people to build relationships with others. Because if we could build relationships and we could build trust, then we can influence. We can influence thoughts and decisions. We can influence what happened in a positive way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That's how you change the world. You know,
one person at a time.
Exactly. One shift, one thing at a time. I love it. You're preaching to the choir. I'm really loving this. So, you know, I always ask the question, what's your largest single sale? What was the amount and what was the circumstances? And then I ask, what did you do to celebrate? And I ask because I want listeners and viewers to recognize possibilities that they may not have considered otherwise. So what's that answer for you? Your largest single sale, the amount and the circumstances, like how did it come to you?
Well, I'm thinking about a time because of how effortless it was. And the one that I think my mind went to, where in 24 hours, I don't want to say I sold $15,000, but the requests came simply from talking to someone who had conflict at her church and who said, "Can I bend your ear?" And I said, "Sure." And we talked about her church and we talked about what was happening there with the board. And I gave a few tips. And at the end of that call, on a Sunday night, she said, "You know, maybe this will do well in my office too."
Nice.
Because that person is the head of an organization. And so that started a journey where that client is a repeat client. Has come back for office.
That means you're over delivering when they keep coming back to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, yes, you're the person we needed, exactly the person that needed. So what did you do to celebrate, Tabitha?
I had steak and red wine.
Okay. Is that a splurge item for you?
It's not, but it's something that I really love. And I try not to do red meat too often. But when I celebrate, I do like a really good steak.
Very good. Very good. So we all have those times in our business. And because you're new, you may not have hit it yet, but you know, where we think of giving up. What has helped you move through those times to stay the course in your business, even while we're all as a world battling COVID, you know, dealing with these infectious diseases? That might be a good backdrop to start from.
Yes, yes. I always remember where I was when God called me to this. And I always knew that it was his plan A for me. And so there is no plan B. And I was saying to my coach yesterday, this is it for me. This is plan A. And I have on my bookshelf the letter A. And I look at it in times of adversity when I feel low, and I remember that for me, this is a calling. And like everything else in life, there are going to be peaks and troughs. And if I do what I do as well as I do it, then I also need to understand when I manage myself and why I manage myself. Because WendyY, there are times when I need to do what I advise my clients to do. There's sometimes I need to sit myself down. You know the way they sit you down in church? There's sometimes that I need to sit myself down. I sat myself down in June. I took a week off. And I had introspection because there are things that were happening in my life that were very high conflict situation that I needed to rest first so that I can have perspective, because it's one that I don't have control over. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that. The thing that I want to highlight that you said that most people don't think of, you said you talked to your coach and told your coach, this is plan A. There is no plan B. This is it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So the fact
Yes.
that you have that role as part of your support system, I think is huge.
Yes.
The other thing you said that I want to highlight is you knew because of what you were about to embark upon, you needed respite. You needed to take a break. You needed to get yourself together. You needed to prepare for it. And
Yes.
a lot of times we just barrel through it. You know, I'm sort of I've been in my business for more than 20 years, and I'm sort of a come on, let's go person. And sometimes, you know, I do that and I'm like, but you know, if I had just taken a minute to think about this and ask questions and sat down and made sure I was ready to show up the right way, some things would not have happened the way that they did. So I love that you're like very introspective and thoughtful about preparation for something, you know, that's going to be big, you know, it's going to be high conflict, as you put it.
Yes.
So I love that. I hope listeners and viewers heard that in a big way. Yeah. And what would you say is your greatest personal accomplishment outside of your business?
Oh, that one is easy. Being a happy wife to Owen, my husband.
Yeah.
Being a devoted daughter to my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And being a loving sister and friend to the people who are close to me and dear to me.
Is your mom still in the Bahamas?
Actually, my mom, I am originally from Guyana in South America.
Okay.
And my mom and my sister, my mom lives in the US.
Okay.
So she was able to spend a few months with me earlier this year, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
I
cherish it, girl, because I lost my mom in January and I'm still trying to recover. You know, people don't understand when they're here, you really got to love on them. You got to love them big. You know what I mean? You got to
condolences to you. Condolences to you and to all our listeners who have lost their moms. I spent time with a group of high school girlfriends a few weeks ago, and two of us have lost our moms since the last time we got together. And they said to me, talk to her every day if you can.
Because I'm telling you, when they're not here, it is gut wrenching. It's gut wrenching. Thank you for your condolences. Yeah. So yes, cherish that. And I'm glad that you have that bond with your mom, your sister, you know, and you've got a great husband as well. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So we're going to take another break. And when we come back, I'd love for you to share your parting thought with our viewers and listeners as well. Okay.
Sure, WendyY.
Okay. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Barrett Matthews, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hi, I'm Morgana Ray, and you're tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey. Please like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hi, I'm Tabitha Liburd, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversations Show with WendyY Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
So welcome back. We've been having a really delightful conversation today with Tabitha Liburd, who is a consultant with Marshall Duke Consulting, and she focuses on conflict management. It's been interesting to me, just, you know, hearing the passion and hearing what you say and how you understand conflict in a big way. So is there one thought that you'd like to leave our listeners and viewers with, Tabitha?
Thanks for asking, WendyY. I always like to remind everyone that we are not powerless in the face of conflict, because sometimes we feel that we are when it hits us and we're scared and we're frozen. We feel powerless. However, what I know for sure is that with appropriate tools and the knowledge of how, when, where, and why to use them, each one of us can engage in constructive conflict resolution processes to resolve issues, restore relationships, and make peaceful and productive businesses ours.
Yeah. You have such a gentle countenance. I can see why people look to you for support, coaching, advice when it comes to conflict. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Tell us about the gift you have for everyone. We're going to put the link in the show notes.
Absolutely. I have a wonderful gift for you. I wrote an ebook with 31 conflict resolution tips. And I like to say it's one for every day of the month.
Yeah.
And so the name of the ebook is Effective Conflict Resolution, 31 Strategies to Successfully Resolve Disagreements. And these are just short little bites, less than half a page each one, something that you can look at, read, and focus on. So if you print that ebook and keep it like a cheat sheet, when something pops up, you can say, ooh,
good stuff.
What should I maybe find something in here to use in this meeting I'm about to go into, so I don't punch someone in the throat.
Yeah. So I'm not homicidal for sure. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that gift, and thank you for being on the show. It's been delightful getting to know you and spending this time in conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, WendyY. I really appreciate being here and the introduction to your audience and the people you serve. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So we'll be back for another great episode. Be sure to join the after party at profitablecoachingsociety.com. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for tuning into Profitable Coaching Conversations with WendyY Bailey. Be sure to join us at the after party at www.profitablecoachingsociety.com. We'll see you next time for more sales and marketing wisdom and insight from WendyY and her amazing guests. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you know when new episodes are posted.